Welcome back to another episode of Excuse My Grandma. It's Kim and my co-host,
Grandma Gail.
Summer is basically over. We are recording this Monday of Labor Day weekend.
And it's very apropos because you always know when summer is over on the Monday of Labor Day. For some reason, and I can't explain it, the weather changes. It's
I know,
like
it
the
gets
weather
cooler.
gods know summer is over.
What doesn't make sense, though, is like we're not children anymore. So it used to be, like school's starting. But really, you could continue summer while it's still nice out. It's just the weekends.
Well, it's psychological, I think. Summer is, and now everyone's looking forward to fall. I don't care what, the younger people used to go back to school or college or whatever.
Yeah.
And we look forward to going back to our city, going back to perhaps some new shows and things that we haven't done all summer. So it's a seasonal change, and it's welcome. I'm ready.
Yeah. We should talk about what we're going to look forward to in the city this fall. But first, should we discuss our last weekend of summer and what we did?
I think we should discuss our Labor Day weekend triumphs or failures, however we want to look at it.
Okay, you first.
Well, okay, so I had a really nice Labor Day. The weather was perfect, and we had a couple of parties. The phenomena that I've noticed over the last couple of years are the food trucks. I've been to 4 food
Well, you go
trucks.
to fancy parties where they have food trucks.
Well, they're not really fancy. I mean, they're really
okay,
very
but people are
casual.
spending money on it.
Yes, they are. They're over the top. It used to be Labor Day weekend. You'd go to someone's house and you'd have a barbecue, or
Right.
you'd have, people would be grilling out there, or even a lobster bake, which I've done in the past, and you have it in your backyard, and it's fun. Now I think people, it's less labor intensive because like every place else, you can't get people to help you. So they bring in these trucks, and the original food truck one that I used to see all the time was the pizza truck. Which
Okay.
I loved,
Right.
Because I'm a big pizza lover. And they used to bring, your host used to bring out big bowls of salads and any kind of things you wanted to add. But basically the main ingredient was different kinds of pizza.
Yeah.
So this summer, the parties I've gone to, they've added the taco truck. And now this year, Shake Shack came out here.
Okay.
Very smart of them.
Yeah.
And, they're serving the chicken dishes and the hamburgers and naturally the milkshakes.
Wait, so let me ask you. So they have the trucks and then you get whatever you want from truck, and then are you standing eating the food?
Well,
or like
some places you're standing.
Yeah.
This weekend, we were at someone's home, and they had picnic tables set up,
Okay.
which were very cute, with paper plates and that you picked up at the different trucks.
And didn't you say that everyone there was like wanted to talk about the podcast?
Well, that was the funniest thing. Here I am with all these young people. And we were, I'm sure Poppy and I were the oldest people. Again, we've broken the record of being the oldest people at all these parties.
Okay.
And everybody wanted to hear about our podcast, Kim.
Yeah.
So
how does it come up?
Well, I think sometimes Poppy brings it up.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's what my friends do. They'll be like, she has a podcast.
Right. I think Poppy says that. And then all of a sudden, all you have to do is say the word TikTok now.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to know what we're doing. And, and so I sort of explain that you're the boss and you do it all.
Okay.
And I'm just the crazy person behind the mic.
Okay. I mean, not untrue.
Right. So it's been fun this weekend.
Yeah.
It was very casual. Everybody sort of had a good time. And now we're wrapping it up.
Yeah. I really like in social situations when people like ask questions about what we do and everything. Like, I think it's nice for people to show interest, but then sometimes I'm like, okay, let's switch the subject to like talk about you.
But their lives are boring, and they think our lives are so much more, less boring. I think they probably think we're going out with movie stars all the time.
Well,
but,
who's to say we're not?
Exactly.
Who's to say we can't?
Well, you see them more than I see them. I don't see any movie stars, and I probably wouldn't recognize them anyway.
Yeah, and since it is like a dating podcast and we talk about that, do people like ask you about my dating life?
Well, occasionally, but I seem to say that's really, that's a private thing. We don't really talk about it. We don't really talk about it.
It's private, but let me tell you about every date I went on.
We never go into detail about
they would never know
dates.
who they are or anything like that, of course. But yeah, it's interesting because I feel like so many people like or will be like, oh, can I set you up? Or like,
Well, that
yeah.
they do, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, I always say, look up Kim on her podcast.
Yeah, didn't you say the other day, like, was it at this party where you were like, oh, I'm not going to give out her number, but if you want to find her, you know where to find her.
Well, that's exactly
Yeah.
right. You know what? I don't give out any numbers. And now I gather from all what you tell me, everything is on your apps anyway. So that's how people meet.
Yeah.
So, let the person do a little bit of shopping around and look at the TikToks that we have.
Yeah, or exactly. And my weekend was pretty good. I was also out in the Hamptons, and I had my 2 girlfriends from college stay with me. And it was pretty chill. We went to one party during the day that was like a rosé themed party. And it was on a nice piece of property. There were like cows on it and stuff.
Oh,
I don't know if they were
there are
cows,
loads of
but-
farms still out here, thank heavens. Otherwise, it would be so sad to ruin the actual farmland look of the area.
I think we were the oldest people there,
Well,
though.
see? Now you know how it feels.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my
See?
God.
Now you know
Full
how it
circle.
feels.
Okay, yeah. I know how it feels. Don't love it, especially when it's like all younger guys. You're like, no. And then we also hung out with our other group of friends at night, which was more chill, smaller group. We were so indecisive about like whether we were gonna go or not, and like what text should we send and whatever it is. And then it's like so silly. It's like we're so happy we just went. It's like not a big deal.
Good thinking.
Yeah.
Get rid of all the texts. I always tell you that. Just do it.
Yeah.
It really makes no sense.
Okay, so like looking forward to the city this fall, me and my friends were like, we have to like get excited about it. So we made a list of things that we want to do in the city this fall, because then on a random night when we're like, what should we do? We have that to reference.
That's a good thing, Kim.
So
give me some of them.
Okay, some of them we haven't been to that new fish market on the South Street Seaport.
Oh, right. Well, actually, my son was there for he went for his anniversary to one of the restaurants there, and he
but
said
I think it's
really
like a new thing.
It's
I don't
all
know.
new. There are a lot
Okay.
of new restaurants and
Yeah.
a lot of new things over there.
We love going to tea.
Tea?
Yeah.
Like drinking tea?
Yeah, like a
Okay.
high tea kind of thing. And we don't.
Well, you have to go to London.
I know, but they have it in New York City, and we
Oh.
do it like sometimes. So we'll
Okay.
do that. There's this new restaurant, 9 Orchard. We wrote that down. I don't know anything about it.
Okay. Well, there are lots of new restaurants opening. I just hope they stay open for a while and then we are able to go inside and enjoy the restaurants.
Yeah. And we'd like a good game night, so we were hoping to do that, and maybe like an old-fashioned slumber party. Except I'll probably go home for the sleeping part versus
Yeah, I think
sleeping bags.
I think you had enough camping this summer.
Yeah.
You can now if that can be eliminated
Oh
from
yeah,
your
for
repertoire.
those who have been keeping up, I went on that like adult summer camp weekend a few weekends ago now. It was a fun time, but again, like one time weekend thing, like
Camp
not trying
is
to,
over.
Camp's
Camp is
over.
over. Camp's over.
And for like our dating topic of the week, I feel like it's just only natural to talk about like what dating will look like this fall.
I think it's going to go back to normal. I really do. I think for most people,
But it
I know
has
I'm
been normal.
Well, it's been normal for young people, but it's really going to be normal because now your activities can go back to whatever really you want. You can go back to the movies. You can go back to eating inside without thinking about it, hopefully.
But I feel like I have been like that this summer.
All right. Okay, good.
So, I mean, I don't know, but maybe
Yeah,
a
but
lot
you've
of
been outside a lot out here.
Yeah, that's true.
Since you're not in the downtown area.
Yeah, and I
it's a
haven't been to
little
like
different.
like a nightclub or anything
Right.
like that.
So that's going to go back to normal. It really is. And now we're all going to get boosters again. I feel like I have to roll up my sleeves for the 95th time, but we'll do it, and we'll all be protected, and it's no big deal. So let's have a good fall and a really interesting fall.
Do you think people are already thinking about like, it's getting colder out, I need to couple up? Because we've talked about cuffing season before.
I think you have another 6 weeks before you need to do that. I think that's post-Halloween.
Post-Halloween, yeah.
Yeah,
I
think-
agree. Like until Halloween, you're still
Right.
thinking of like, oh, I like it's nice out, rooftops. Like, what are we gonna dress as? Is Halloween? What are we gonna like parties are we gonna go to? And then after that, you're like, wait, what do we have to look forward to? The holidays are always weird times for like being single or like wanting to, bring somebody to Thanksgiving or whatever it is. So people start thinking about it.
But you have a good 6 weeks.
Yeah. And some people are talking, how people say like hot girl summer?
No. What does that mean?
It's like you're like your best self. You're a hot girl summer. Like you're not thinking about you're not thinking about guys. You're just doing you kind of. And then like carrying that into fall, Like,
Well, you know what? I also think that kind of philosophy is a little immature.
Yeah.
I think that, at this point, most of you are adults, you have professional lives, and your personal lives have to start getting a little more serious about relationships than prior when you were in college and when you were just graduating college. So I think your mid-20s and 30s,
Yeah.
you know what, stop with the me thing, start being serious about a good relationship. Maybe you should make that a fall resolution, that, you know what, I'm going to really try to get my personal life together as I've gotten my business life together.
I feel like everyone always feels like they don't have their shit together.
Yeah, well, I know that. I can see that from your friends and from you. But I think that's a lot of it is because you're again looking for something in someone else that is not realistic. So I think we have to start really thinking about serious relationships and the good parts of them that you enjoy being with somebody on a
But what if you are aware of
basis.
that? Like you want a serious relationship, like you already.
Well, don't hang out with people who don't. In other words,
Okay.
if you're hanging out with a guy or a girl
Okay.
who doesn't want to do that, this is what we've gone over so many
Right.
times. Be focused. If somebody just wants to, a good time, fine, go out once and then say goodbye. I mean, it's just not worth it. It's a
Right.
waste of time.
If that's right, if you know what you want, don't
Correct.
sacrifice.
If you know what
that.
you want,
Yeah. If
Right.
you don't know,
then keep
that's
going.
yeah, exactly.
Then
Then
keep
just keep
going.
swimming. Just
Exactly.
keep swimming. Okay. Lots of questions that you guys wrote in on our Instagram that we're going to answer on here. We might answer some on Instagram also, but the majority of them, I love when you guys write in questions. There are hundreds and hundreds of them.
And not where Grandma gets her sweaters, because now we're getting
there were
a lot-
so many.
There were so many, but the truth is, some of these sweaters are 6 and 7 years old. I feel so terrible when I give out the name of the
Yeah.
sweater because you'll never find them. The companies have probably gone out of business since I bought the sweater. But thank you for asking. It's always a compliment, and I do look at the labels, and I do tell Kimmy, and she puts them out for you. I just don't think you're going to find most of them.
First one is, would you two ever do a podcast tour or like a meet and greet?
Well,
I think so.
Well, we're doing something like that at a synagogue in Florida this
That's true.
winter.
That's true.
If any of you were down in December, the middle of December,
I'll
down-
post more about that as it comes closer and I know like the day and the time and everything.
Right. We certainly would.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually think we would do that. It would be fun. But it has to be something that focuses on relationships.
Yeah, I think we could definitely like talk about our dynamic and like grandparent-grandchild relationships and dating and all of that. And because we would love, now we definitely have a community around Excuse My Grandma, and we would love to actually meet you guys face to face. So I think it's definitely something we've thought about, but you will all be the first to know. Has Grandma ever third wheeled on a date? Third?
No,
I mean, you and Poppy
no.
have been with me on a date, but
yeah, not third wheel.
Not
Yeah, well,
third wheel.
No,
Have you?
No, I don't think so.
well, you've definitely hung out with me and a boyfriend
Yes,
before.
yes.
So I guess.
Yeah, but it wasn't on a first or a second
No,
date.
no.
Somebody that you knew and
Yeah.
that we liked.
Yeah, exactly. What star sign is she? You've answered this. You're a Taurus.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your ultimate style icon?
Who's mine?
Yeah.
I don't know who I would say. I guess I would go back to like someone from my past, like Sophia Loren.
Right.
Those were the people.
Somebody
I
told
always
me
thought
I
was
looked like her
beautiful.
the other day
Yeah,
on
you have her
TikTok.
coloring.
And I was like, that
How
was the
great is
nicest thing
that?
anyone's ever commented on TikTok. Thank you.
Does he want to? Is it a girl or a guy? If he thinks that, maybe he should call you for a date.
It actually might have been a guy.
That's
now that I'm
good.
thinking about it.
She was a beauty.
Yeah. I like this question. Was your mom stylish too?
Absolutely. My mom was absolutely the greatest. She always had matching suits and shoes and bags, and she always looked perfect to the day she died. So, yes, she was she was my icon.
Yeah, I'm wondering because I was thinking about this yesterday where I was like, my clothes are essentially like just picked up by you. Like sometimes I'm like, am I just a doll that you dress?
Well, I like you as a doll,
but then
you're
I'm
the prettiest little doll.
Oh, thank you. But then I'm wondering, like, is that always how it is with your mom? You know what I mean? Like, did your mom inspire what you picked out as well?
I think that's true.
Yeah.
I think that's true. Of course, we're talking about it much more than my mom and I used
Right.
to do. But we used to shop together,
Yeah.
and she used to say, I think this
This
would look
looks-
really good on you. And since I trusted her taste,
Yeah.
I would usually buy it.
Right. How did your style differ from hers?
It didn't differ that much from hers. Actually, we both loved to wear suits. We liked to wear classic
Scarves,
clothes.
I feel like.
We always wore a lot of scarves.
Yeah.
Scarves are still something I wear all the time, large, oversized
Printed,
scarves, because
yeah.
I like to wear shirts.
Right.
And I'll wear a scarf over it just to make sure the air conditioning
Right.
or whatever
Because my mom
keeps me
doesn't
cozy.
really do that.
No, she's not a scarf person.
No, she's not.
She's not a scarf person.
And I'm not, but I also feel like it's not a young thing nowadays. Like, I don't really
Probably not.
see that.
Except that I don't think a lot of the big scarf manufacturers would like to hear you say that.
I mean, like, listen, Hermes, if you want to send me some scarves, I'm not going to complain.
Exactly.
A lot of questions about your skincare routine. I think we have to do a video on that soon.
Yeah, I think so too. And mine is as simple one as yours is. We're not overly into so many things that would clog up our skins. I think
We're
just
very
keep it
particular about
clean.
what brands we work with
Correct.
and clean brands
Correct.
and all that.
Exactly.
And we can definitely tell you what we
What we
use in a video soon.
Right. And we have talked about it where several products now
Yes.
go between the ages, between young and old, and you can really use the same products together because they are so good.
Oh, okay. Another similar thing. What was your grandma like?
My grandmother was a pistol. She got married. She was 16 when she married my grandfather. They were a love affair. And they lived, modest lives until my grandfather really became very successful. And then she was a beautiful woman. She came from the area where Austria is. It was, they didn't exactly know where they came from, but she had beautiful white skin, very, very fair. She never sat in the sun, with blue eyes. And of course, in the beginning, I think she had blonde hair. At the end, she went to a beauty parlor and had that hair created. But she was a very, very pretty woman. And she had great style. And my grandfather loved to dress her. Talking about being a doll, in those days in the 30s, 40s, 50s, he really made her into what he imagined to be so glamorous. And
do you think she liked it?
She loved it.
Okay.
Yeah,
but did she get to pick out her own stuff?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But he had great taste.
Right.
And I think she appreciated that.
Yeah.
And she really, they were self-educated. They didn't go to college. I don't even think they finished high school. But they created a world of beauty around them. And that was taken on by my mother later and by me.
That's so nice. Yeah, because a lot of people have asked me where we're from originally.
Who knows?
And I'm like Eastern Europe. I don't know.
Well, it's interesting. We've been discussing this. I had one set of parents, grandparents, who were here for several generations. Then I had my maternal set, who were basically immigrants in the early 1900s when there were pogroms in Europe and they had to leave, and they left with nothing in their pockets. Basically, they came as we see immigrants come today, with trying to make it here in America, which is the land of opportunity. So I don't think much has changed, except that they had a love of America when they came. They imagined they wanted to leave the old world behind. They really wanted to assimilate very quickly. That was the different psychology to
Right.
now what happens when people come to America. And it's neither right or wrong. It's just
it's nice to bring
mentality.
new cultures here and be a mixing pot.
Well, I think it was a mixing pot, but they wanted to adapt to the American ideal.
Yeah.
Not the reality of what America is, but
Right.
what they dreamed about in Europe was
Yeah.
going to be the streets paved in gold and all
Right.
that stuff.
Interesting.
So it was an interesting difference of what I would say people who come today in 2022 to America see. And for better or for worse, our country is better for immigrants because it brings a vitality to society that you wouldn't have.
100%. Okay. Someone said, how can I become part of Upper East Side social scene?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I have no idea. I think that you have to probably get involved in organizations.
Yes.
that benefit the area. There's certainly a lot of those.
Yeah, there's a lot of charities that I don't know how old you are, but like that have like young leadership committees.
Yeah, art, certainly the Guggenheim, the
museums.
Met, all the museums, and you have historical societies. You have even any kind of religious group that you're involved in. There's so many opportunities, and you have to work your way up.
Yeah, and I guess it's like look at what your motivation is for becoming part of it. Like, is it to go to certain parties and restaurants, or just like you're looking for a sense of belonging? Because depending on what that answer is.
We raised our families there.
Right.
So we had
if you're
much
from
different
there.
had a much different outlook. You know, when we came to the city in the early 60s as a married couple, we didn't intend to stay in New York, but we ended up falling in love with it. It was a different New York than it is today, but we raised our children and our grandchildren there, and we love it. You know, and any city where you grow up, I think you love.
What color should I paint my kitchen cabinets?
So I like white in a kitchen, but I think what's happening now in a lot of I watch these decorating shows on the HGTV channel. I think there are lots of light colors, like a light green, light blues, and they're mixing them.
I never like that though.
I know, but they are sort of a little like they do it under the islands, and then
right,
they, you know,
like
which
accents.
is sort of like an accent color, and that can be very pretty. And then you pick it up in somewhere else in the room.
Yeah. But I feel like the clean look is like a cream or a white or something.
Well, that tends to be the most conservative.
I guess so. Young adult cancer survivor here. What was your experience with cancer, Grandma?
Congratulations that you're a survivor. It's very important to surround yourself with positive thoughts. I'm a survivor too, 20 years out. And I never try to be negative. I really believe that is so much a part of survival in this world, is to put on a happy face. There are always tough times. We went through hell to get there, and then don't look back. Just step forward and surround yourself with people who are happy and who are good wishers, well wishers. That's the word, well wishers.
Do you have any like general advice on how to not feel afraid to fulfill your goals? Like in a sense, become unstuck.
I don't know, Kim. Do you have any answers on that? Because I'm not. I'm unstuck.
If you have specific, you're not.
I'm unstuck.
I think like if you have specific goals that feel really important to you, it's always helpful to like write them down and actually like brainstorm ways of how you can reach them. Little goals that you can hit on a daily basis or weekly basis or monthly basis, instead of thinking about like, oh, this huge thing that I have to get accomplished.
And maybe also if you have somebody you trust as a sounding board.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be a family member or a good friend or a professional, sometimes that works for you too.
Yeah, because like you're not alone in this life,
right.
You know.
And you shouldn't be alone.
Yeah.
Reach out. Everybody today needs to reach out, and somebody has to grab your hand and help you.
Do you have a go-to makeup that you can't live without?
I do. I have Estee Lauder Double Wear. I wear it every single day, whether I try a new makeup or not. I always somehow use this as an underbase because it protects you from the sun and all the damage that the environment can do. It's you put it on with the sponge. It makes you feel, you know, it's very light.
And it's not an advertisement.
And this is not an advertisement at all, but I love it.
Yeah.
I've been wearing it for years and years and years.
I always think about this when I'm doing my makeup. Like if someone put a gun against my head, this will never happen. It was like, you get to choose one makeup product.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I don't know, between mascara and like
your
a
lip. You like
I know.
that lip. You like that
I
lip
love
stuff.
a lip liner.
Right. And
So-
I don't know how to work the lip liner. I have one, and I'm always, it's always moving around, and I never do it exactly right.
I basically like do it on my lip line, bottom and top. I do it on my lip line, but like a little bit under because I like a fuller lip.
Right.
And it makes it look like you got lip injections.
Yeah,
but
you're
you
very
didn't.
good. You're very good with the makeup.
Thank you. Do you have any top etiquette rules to live by?
Well, I think my favorite is to think of others as you would do it for yourself. You should think of it as what you would do for other people. The same thing. If it's,
Is that etiquette?
well, I guess I think so. I
was
think
thinking like
being
set the
polite.
table.
Well,
I
set
don't
the table. I don't know.
know.
I don't know. We don't set the table. I've been at a food truck all summer.
Yeah.
I don't have to set the table anymore.
know. Right. Okay, there's literally 500 more questions, but I think let's just answer them on another episode. Because Grandma said that she needs to tell everyone about her new purchase.
All right. I bought something, Kim, that is very important.
Okay.
I'm going to go away this fall,
Yep.
and I'm having an issue about luggage getting lost.
Okay.
This is a very big
You need
thing.
to talk about this on the podcast?
I need to
Okay.
talk about this on the podcast.
Okay.
Everybody this summer lost their luggage, including my son in Greece. There is no
Oh,
way.
wait. I heard this too.
And
Everyone.
it's terrible. It's a terrible situation on the airlines. And then my grandson just went for his junior semester to Madrid, and the airline wouldn't take his luggage because it was too heavy.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we have to resolve this. So I went online
Okay.
because I'm going with a few girls someplace this fall, and I want to do everything with a wheelie. So I now look.
Wait, you're not going to check, you're saying?
I'm not going to check. I refuse to check the bag. I really.
What, are your friends doing that too?
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care if they check. I'm going to. I want to be the person that gets off the plane and takes a taxi first to
Right.
the hotel. I want to get the best room.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's like Housewives.
I'm
They all
not
fight.
I'm not waiting for someone to wait for two tremendous suitcases.
And
So
also
any-
carrying it and all that.
well, I can't lift it, so I
Right.
always have to ask somebody to help me
Exactly.
out.
Okay.
So now I bought this suit. I haven't tried it. I'm going to practice. I bought something online that says it fits in the overhead,
Okay.
and I want to see how much
You can
I
get into
literally
it.
get in there.
Wait, we should do a video.
Well, maybe we will this
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
Because I'm going to use all the same. I have a girlfriend that does it all the time. I'm going to only take black pants. Or a
Right.
black skirt and then several tops, but I got to get everything else in there. So, but someone said to me, you also take like a little soft bag and you can put it over the
Oh,
wheelie handle.
yeah.
So you can put some more little things
Yeah.
in that. And then
You're
fill up-
allowed like 2 carry-ons.
Right. So I'm gonna well, I can't take 2 wheelies because I can't walk with 2 wheelies, but I'm gonna put something over that. And then I figured if I wear a jacket and then put a coat
Oh my
over
God.
it, I feel like
Literally
so
wear
somebody
10
has to help me. They have to come in. They have to answer our podcast now
Yeah.
and tell us, give us suggestions on how to be a smart packer.
Yeah.
I was also thinking, how you isn't there a thing where you can deflate the stuff in?
Oh, yes. It's like a vacuum sealer.
How do I get it back then in the suitcase at
Right.
the other end?
That's probably going to be bulky.
Right. Well, so I really think this is something we need to address. So this is my cry for help on the podcast. If
Okay.
anybody has suggestions, we really are anxious to hear your answers to that. How do I pack in a wheelie for a week?
Okay. 1950s movie of the week has to do with the end of summer.
Goodbye to picnics.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. It's called Picnic, 1955. I have not seen it.
Oh, it was so beautiful. It was a love story that was strictly in the 50s, but it's great to watch again. Kim Novak, who was a young, beautiful star at the time.
Rate us 5 stars and follow us on TikTok and Instagram. If you haven't, it's Excuse My Grandma.
And don't forget, tell me how to pack in a wheelie.
Okay, bye.
Bye.